Hey Ninjas, Mike DeWitt here with Casey Caldwell. We're here at 10th Planet Springfield this morning just after COD, crack of dawn class from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Today we're going to talk a little bit about north-south choke. Since I come back from my knee surgery, I've been looking for north-south chokes quite a bit, trying to pass all the way around to north-south, trying to secure that, that pass completely. And so it's been opening up north-south chokes quite a bit for me. So check it out. Casey's going to lay down on his back here. So once I start to pass, when I get towards side control, guys start to tend to frame up, and they're starting to hip escape, and they're trying to get their defenses going. And so I've been coming over the top of the head, just kind of laying my arm over the head, and then walking around, blocking the hip. Now once I start blocking the hip, frames start to come up again, and I need to defend the inside frame here with my same side arm. So as I pass around to north-south and that frame starts to come in, my right hand here is going to start to pummel in, and I'm going to start to collapse on the head a little bit. And I don't really care right now which way his face is turned, because I want to defeat this arm. I want this frame out of the way. And so when I start to work this arm up towards his hip, that's when I'm going to start to adjust, sliding my hips forward. When I slide my hips forward, it's to get his chin up and underneath of my lat here. When I can feel his chin in my lat, I'm going to start to turn his face away with my ribs. This is one of the biggest things about the north-south choke for myself. One of the biggest things for the north-south choke for myself was to remember that my body is going to be stronger than his neck and his ability to turn his chin in. So if he did start to turn his chin in towards me, I can use my lat as I sink down to drive into him to turn his face away, which actually is going to apply more pressure into my bicep on his neck. Once I've turned that chin away, I'm going to keep my left hip as close to the mat as possible, driving my ribs into his face again. As I start to flatten out, keeping constant pressure into the side of his face with my ribs. That's really the biggest key for me right now, is to apply pressure here. Once I start to feel that pressure, I'm sliding back. I'm thinking about getting my chest to the floor. That's how far back I'm going. My thumb on my choking arm is up, and I'm keeping my right hand free to defend against this arm. I very rarely am grabbing my hands together or using my right hand on this choke. I'm mostly using it to defend against this arm and his frames. But from here, I'm really leaning my ribs in, getting up on my toes, digging my toes into the ground, driving my chest in, and then I'm just trying to melt into the floor, just trying to sink into the floor as I put pressure with my ribs into his neck to get the tap. Okay, so one time, a little bit more full speed. As we start to pass here, he starts to get frames in. I block his hip with my right arm. My left arm goes over the head, and I start to get all the way around. As I get my head down, I'm defending against his arm, sliding my hips forward, and then I'm just sinking back in, driving my ribs into his face, working back and sinking down into that choke. All right, guys, so play around with that north-south choke. Let me know in the comments if it's working for you. If you have any questions, visit us at springfieldbjj.com and stop in sometime. Thanks, guys.